Don't call pops, we'll be dropping knowledge on all the latest stops. From the comics and movies, games and TV shows. This is the place where the hype always grows. Come on, tune in to Synopsis. Get ready for some interviews like no other. Pops bringing the heat. They always love the reviews. They'll make you laugh and make you cry. They bring in the fire. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Pops, they're the ones who watch with critics and panelists. They always hit the top. If you're into pop culture, come on, tune in to Synopsis.
What do you think, guys? Pretty cool.
That was pretty freaking cool. I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty awesome.
Via Dempsey, I have a tune in and a tune out thank you song. He's been working with some different. As with everything else, there's AI right now. Everything else is like there's different tools that can help you construct and speed along different ideas and things like that. And he can play a guitar and he can sing a little bit, but he could do this and it will structure and harmonize. So like these things can be good tools in a lot of ways. So hail to Dempsey. I've been playing with it a little bit, trying to figure out. So it's going to be like a stinger on a couple of my videos, things like that. But I thought I'd share with you guys here. So here we are. Loki, my brother, how are things going, my friend?
Things are better than they were a couple hours ago. Things are going good. So I didn't get a video out today. Why? Because I'm in the middle of editing my video and power's out. And then power's back on and then power's out. And the power's back on and storming and rain and, dogs and cats living together. It's just, it's insanity. So, no video today, but hopefully I can kick that out to everybody tomorrow and we'll rock and roll with a little why Furiosa took a giant dump on Memorial Day. Yeah,
I didn't get a video either. Just threw some shorts out there to have some fun with that. That's about the best I could do. But I get videos for a couple days after, starting tomorrow. So, you do what you can do when you can do it, my friend. I know, I get it. Tech stuff. So, Matt, my friend, welcome to Talk Hard. How are you, man?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here. It's been a pleasure. Been watching you guys. Lately, I haven't been able to catch as many as I've been wanting to, but love the show. Love what you guys do here. So it's an honor to be here. And yeah, same thing. I have a video coming out later on about the Furiosa. It seems like everyone's talking about it, so I figured I'd throw my 2 cents into the ring there. But yeah, Pops, that song was awesome, man. That is the cool. Like, you got to get some video thrown in there.
I'm gonna have to get with Loki to get like some good, because you've kind of mastered like the concept of getting like the right kind of video that we can get away with using and splicing together the metal. And he's like,
oh, yeah.
It's like, it's like it's not quite AC/DC-ish, but it was enough of that like retro metal type stuff with a little bit of that feel without going too far. Like I didn't want it to be like death metal, screamo stuff. So I'm like, oh, it kind of went
like
down
that sound kind of reminded me, not like the vocals, but the sound itself was like first thing that popped in my head was like Power Rangers intro. Like that was like the same kind of heavy, like fast, like, but it sounded good, man. Like you throw some good video in there and that's awesome. That's cool.
We're gonna play with that at some point and get that going. So he made a Bob Ross reference, which of course made me laugh out loud. So it's like it's the best. It's the best. Right up front, right in the front row, Louis Sparrow is here. One of my favorite Star Trek films. Indeed. Thank you for being here, lady. Hope you're doing well. And there he is, the wrench of wrenches, the goat from the north. Chris Birch is here. Hail to the triumvirate of Talking Hard and a common idiot. Yes, Matt is in the house. And hail to you, Chris, for all you do, man, brother. It's been great, man. Awesome. Yeah, Loki survived the hailstorm. He's doing all right. Slasher Fred's here. Never give up. Never surrender. Indeed. Yeah, so it's great. It's great. Nas is in the house. Never been a huge Trekkie, but I absolutely adore this movie. It's one of those best parodies ever. Yeah, it's one of those things. I 100% with you, Nas. I'm just now doing my Trek original series rewatches, so it's even making me more nostalgic about Trek lore and things like that. So, yeah, I love rewatching this. So
we just finished Mud's Women.
Oh yeah,
so
I did that one
the other night.
So. Well, you can watch my take on it and tell me how I'm a noob and tell me about things I didn't know. That's what everybody else does. So I enjoy that very much. It is, and I don't mean that like in a snarky way. Like I literally am a noob. It's totally cool to learn the mythology and the canon and all that kind of stuff. So
did you watch where No Man Has Gone Before, right?
Yes, that's actually one of my favorites so far. Yeah, that's one of the
actually
top
notice
5.
On the tombstone, it says James R. Kirk. It doesn't say James T.
Nurporeal pointed it out. He's ahead of you on that. Yeah, Nurporeal's he's like my referee, or it's like he's He's constantly throwing the whistle on the field. Pop, did you catch this? Pop, did you catch that? I'm like, nope, did not know any of those things, but I am wiser now for knowing it. So
the in-canon argument is that his best old friend that, didn't remember his middle name. And so he put R up there instead. And it's like, wow, okay, so he's known him for... That's like kind of a crappy excuse to throw out there.
That's pretty weak. I think it's just they changed their mind. So one of my long-standing thing is I'm watching this. Man, I don't know if you ever watched the original series from the get-go. It's interesting to watch it in production order, because then you can see the show as it progresses. So then you can see like the tricorders are changing, the phaser changes. You can see all the different stuff happening. The tunings change, whatever. And I just think there's certain things that they were making up as they went. And once they made it, and once they did it, then it kind of went into the Bible, right? This is what we're going to do now. Yeah. So, Nas is making a great reference. If you guys have not caught this, over on Jana's channel, Jana Catania. So she does these things called a blind reading, and she sends you the script, and you read the script, and then she edits it. And she broke me, Loki. You think you've broken me? Yes, you have. However, Jana got me good because she had a joke, and I did not see it coming for an airplane read, and I cracked. And it took me a minute to get my crap together, man. I got to be honest. It broke me pretty good. Yep, had a good laugh at my expense, Nas. That's what I'm here for, my friend. So that video was all about. So, Corey's here. Hey, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Oh, all right, cool. Yeah, more Power Rangers love. I think that's kind of a consistency. Cool. Steven Ransom, there he is. SR's in the house. Good man. Good to see you, brother. There's once a series called The Orville. That was Trek parody. Yeah, I got to be honest. I have a hot take on that. So we will have to come around to The Orville. Don't let me forget, guys, talk about the Orville thing, because I
won't let you. I won't let you forget.
If you say Trek 3 times in the mirror, God Boreal, yeah, probably. I would actually, yeah. DJ Ronnie G's in the house. By the way, great streams and content heated on Star Wars Day as well. So hail to you. All right, so DJ Ronnie G's going to go try to see if he can summon Nerd Boreal. Yeah, everyone's catching on to that now, because she dropped a new one today on Bloodsport with Squeaka, which is just great just to hear Squeaka. But I guess people are probably like, oh wait, Jana's doing these, and it's pretty clever. So. Yeah. All right. So, Matt, I asked you because I knew you had said this is like literally one of your like favorite go-to, need a smile kind of movies. So, let's get Matt in the house. How did it feel to rewatch that? You did a video on it, I think. Even you were just like so moved to like have something positive in your life for a moment. You were like, I wouldn't even do a video.
Well, I haven't watched this movie in quite a while, and I remember as a kid. I mean, I watched movies all the time, and I haven't seen this in years. I mean, probably over 10 years, to be quite honest with you.
Gosh,
I know it's been a long time, and I was so knowing that this conversation was coming, I was like, we'll rewatch it. Man, I forgot how much fun this movie was. Like, I absolutely adored it, and to be quite honest, I've, like you, Pops, never really been that big of a Trekkie. Like, I've watched some of the episodes back in the day, but I was always more of a Star Wars fan than a Trek fan. Nothing against it. That's just what I lean to. But I absolutely loved it. Yeah, I loved it so much to the point, like I said, I did a video for the members just because it was, again, very positive. They don't make movies like this anymore. Like, that was the biggest takeaway that I got. Is like, these movies do not exist, nor do I think they will ever, because the way, I mean, you could take this movie right now and think about all the great things about it and go, oh, they would change that. They would take this out. They would make it about this character. Oh, couldn't have that anymore. And it was just loads of fun.
Just the Sigourney Weaver's boob joke.
Oh, yeah.
Going.
Plus, she looked
covering her through the movie, and you're like, yeah, this is not going.
No.
This is great. I actually was just laughing that she could actually do a role like that. Like, she was okay to do that. I think it was great. So
yeah, and she looked great. She looked great in that movie.
Absolute smoke show with
right
hair. Holy shit.
Yeah. Yeah, Dempsey, we're all just giving a lot of love, man, having a lot of fun with it. I use it as a stinger because he has a little thank you thing on a couple of my upcoming videos. Just kind of playing with it, Dempsey. Just download it and whatever. But the goal will be to try to figure out a way to mix some video with it or something like that, bro. It's a lot of fun, man. It's awesome. So give you a lot of love for that. So Corey says, yeah, you saw this in the theater. Yeah, cool, man. All right, so Loki, you're the complete opposite, and I think you're a diehard Trek fan. I know we did Weird Al. We did Weird Al, and we were talking about how they really can't do parody anymore. This is a perfect example of, well, parody's kind of off the table. So if you want to have some fun with track, yeah, this was good stuff, man.
Absolutely. We are Pamins from the Klaatu Nebula, and we need your help. How he said that without like taking a breath at some point, you're like, dang, that's dedication. Yeah, no, absolutely. You couldn't make this now. The fans saving their lives, absolutely, positively, no. They would never allow that now because they detest the fans. They hate the fans. Back then, you could have the fans that loved the science and loved the ships and, oh my God, ship porn. And you've got all these fans that love this stuff. They hate those people now. Anyone that questions anything, they absolutely hate them. They want them gone. They don't appreciate them. So to have someone like that win over everything in the movie and be responsible for their lives, no, they would never let that happen now. And you would be so evil for taking advantage of the loving Thermians that yeah. Now the tentacle thing with the engineer, yeah, that'd probably still happen, but I don't think anything else in the movie would be the same.
And she just made me laugh so much because she's that the weird looking German girl or whatever she's supposed to be from Dodgeball, and I just recently watched Dodgeball again because that's kind of the palate cleanser for me because I watched The Hustle. Yes, that video will come out on Thursday. Dear Lord, you people picking the freaking Hustle from. They cheated, Loki. They cheated. They picked Hustle. They said I was going to watch Hustle, and they went in, used all their Google accounts, and they upvoted Uptown Girl. So technically, Uptown Girl won. And I'm like, I already watched The Hustle. You guys have cheated. You double dipped. So I needed Dodgeball as a palate cleanser, and we'll come back around. But that lady, Missy Pyle, I think is her name, and wow. It was crazy. And that grin, I mean, you're talking about the guy's breath. How did she keep that face? She just, it's just, yeah, there's a lot of subtleties and nuance with this for sure. I love sort of like the meta elements of just the Shatner elements right out of the get-go because there is a famous story, if anybody didn't know, that Shatner did hear that his co-stars hated him and blah, 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 and all this stuff. Like, it was like there is sort of like a bathroom story. I don't know if it's like a convention or not, but there's some sort of like bathroom story where he's hearing other people talking that Shatner doesn't know he's a joke and blah blah blah. And it's like, oh, so I don't know.
He never admitted that.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever admitted that, but yeah, he kind of plays this all up pretty well. He loved the movie, but he's kind of like, I don't quite get the Tim Allen character. Well, he's got such a great sense of humor about these kinds of things because everyone gets it. So.
Yeah, he didn't want to be like, oh, he's playing Kirk. No, he wasn't about to admit that he was playing Kirk and that he was, going off of him or that any of this was, close to home or anything like that. But yeah.
Yeah, because the one thing for me I completely died because at the end of the movie when the shirt gets ripped or whatever, and there's the jokes about the shirt, I think nearly every single Trek original series rewatch that I've done, I've made a comment about Kirk. And in the last one, there was like he kept his shirt on the whole time till the very end, and the shirt rips. And I just started laughing. Like, what is with the Kirk and is he like the Ryan Gosling of that era? Like, what is the deal? And yes,
well, it happened in the first produced episode he was in. We were just talking about that, where No Man Has Gone Before. It happens there while he's fighting. Oh God, I can't remember his name. Whatever his name was. At the end, I'm like, oh, there goes the shirt. There, the shirt's off. Yep. Had to have an episode where the shirt gets ripped off. Oh yeah,
that's funny. It's good. It's every time, Matt, you watch Trek, man. It's just like it's every episode. It's like these close-up, dramatic, shadowy shots of Kirk, and at some point or another, that shirt's coming off.
I'm gonna have to go because I remember watching a handful of them. I remember watching like the very first whenever the pilot episode, and then I watched maybe 2 or 3, and that's when I noticed like I didn't realize the pilot had pretty much 90% of the cast change. I didn't know that. That was. And then, a couple of other ones, but I never realized about the shirt. So now I'm going to have to go back and when I watch some of them, check that out because that's interesting.
Yeah, it's been a good run, and the movie does a really good job of capturing sort of like this sort of reputation or things like that. And as someone who's done the conventions for so long, and I don't know if I want to get there or not. I don't want to get too far. I don't want to get out over the skis, but I don't have the greatest of TNG real life experience, so I can relate a little bit to the scenes where he's frustrated and he's just like scribbling and throwing things and how bitter they are about being there and not being there. And I'm like, wow, I think I can relate to this sequence a little bit because that may be what I walked into. So yeah, I had that experience one time where I walked in on the TNG people. They weren't all happy to see me. It was kind of weird. What is Serta's first name? What's her name?
Marina.
So I done an interview for her. She'd been on the radio show. So I was going over to MegaCon on Thursday. They weren't going to be there till Saturday. So I had my daughter with me. We're in line. There was no special line for me at this point. You can only get to so many press things, the panels they put you in. She comes around and hugs me, Loki. She's just no bra on. I'm so embarrassed. Right? My little tiny daughter's with me, and she's just like, "Oh my God, you were so great." I'm like, don't touchy. Like, oh, too much. And then,
Mommy, why was this strange woman with no bra hugging Daddy?
she would be like, "God, who was it who touched you?" Because is there photo evidence of how creeped out you were? Like, I'm so like, that's not my thing. Yeah, it's just not. Worf was great, man. And Worf was identified immediately by my daughter because he's also in Santa Claus, right? He's the Sandman in Santa Claus. So he was super cool, right? And then get to Jonathan Frakes. And Jonathan Frakes just kind of did this, not going to participate with the civil interactions. It was weird. Yeah. So.
Really? That's odd.
Yeah. I've never heard that about him. He was just... Like I said, he may have had that bad day. He may have had the Galaxy Quest day. Is how I feel now. It's like after watching the movie again from that lens, I went, I wonder if I caught Frakes on just a Galaxy Quest day. There's like
usually he's the one smiling. He's the one smiling. He's the one having a good time. He's the one that's like energetic and very personable. And that's not like Riker I'm talking about. That's Frakes. Because I've met Frakes before, and he acted like I was a member of the family, and I was like, "Holy shit!" I'm just wow, okay.
Mm-hmm. So and the only time I got close to Patrick Stewart, it was
I can believe that.
I had the camera stuff right, and they were like, "Oh no, you can't do that." It was like the freak show approach with the circus thing. You got to go behind the wall, and you got to pay, and I'm like, "Well, I'm pressed." Like that, we don't care. I'm like, screw you people. Ain't that cool of an Xavier? All right, Steve SR's. Alan Rickman is such a goat. I mean, it is. Wore that prosthetic the whole freaking movie, man. Jeez Louise, that was crazy.
Yeah, he did a great job.
Wade is here. Yeah, that pilot.
My grandpa's hammer. What a savings.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't get his career started till almost his 40s. I don't know, man. He's got so many great things too. So good. What is this? What is this? They want to know about your American flag. Is it made of spools of thread?
Yeah, no, it's actually shotgun shells. So he's like, yeah, nice, proving the global opinion of us. So
yeah, I see that.
It's pretty
America. That's America.
Spot on, right?
America. So what does that first part of the film feel like for you, Matt? Where you're just getting all the nerd convention vibe and the celebrity nonsense, and kind of have you gone a lot of conventions to kind of have some even like greater appreciation of this kind of thing?
I've not really. No, especially when I was a kid, I never went to any of them. As an adult, I've not really big conventions like that. Not like New York City or anything major. So I don't really have that much experience with it. But I mean, I've seen obviously people like live streaming it there, so I got the feel for it and I understand it. So I can definitely see, especially now as an adult, appreciate it. Where you're going to see some of them either be kind of like how Tim Allen's character is completely involved and into it, and then like how Alan Rickman was like, I don't want to be here. I'm just get away, go away. And so no, that wasn't too much for me as a kid when I watch this, or now, because like I said, I haven't been to that many conventions, but it it was still pretty cool to see. And then I can definitely see like the mega fans coming up and asking all the specifics, and the guy's like, I don't know. It's just I have no idea if that ship was real. You know what I mean? Like the schematics. When Justin's Long character started asking about the specifics, which blew me away. Completely forgot he was in the movie and how young he was. Like
First film, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, that was. I mean, that's way before like Jeepers Creepers or anything. So, but no, yeah. But other than that, no, I never really had that much experience with those mega cons or anything like that. It's on the bucket list. So,
Loki, were you the 11-year-old Loki going to your first one and ask all the Trek questions with your schematics and your making of books? I mean,
Kind of. There's as much drama behind the scenes at a convention as there is on YouTube. If you've ever listened to the YouTube talk on Wednesday, you know that there's a lot of BS and crap that goes on behind the scenes of YouTube between people. And a lot of times just like, leave me out of it. And this person did this and this person did that, or this person. People are drinking at these conventions all night long. Now, I'm not just talking about like, ooh, little hair the dog that be in the morning first. No, I'm talking about all night long. There's people partying. There are people that don't show up. There are people that get there late. There are people that show up wasted. It's like that whole scene where Tim Allen's like butt up in the living room, drunk off his. That's like before the convention, not after the convention. So it's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. All the stuff that's happening behind the scenes, yes, that stuff happens. You'll get that at every convention. Someone's drinking, someone's banging, someone's doing something that you just don't expect that you'll never know about because you don't see what's going on behind the scenes. But if you have that ticket, if you have that access, if you know somebody that's like, hey, where are you guys hanging out tonight? And you go and you do that, you're going to see a lot of stuff. And I count myself lucky that I've been invited to a couple of pre and after mixer stuff and just been like, really? That's what y'all are doing?
Yeah, I don't talk about it. I let a lot of that stuff fly. I will say there's a lot of comic book creators that have talked about, like, especially back in the day with San Diego Comic-Con, how they'd be put up in these like prestigious rooms and stuff like that because they were treated like rock stars during the 90s, right? So when you get into the 2000s, they're still big draws. I'm talking like crazy binge drinking. Like it's insane. I have no idea how they can like crank out these $200 commission art completely hungover for the weekend. It's nuts. But yeah, I'm with you. I've been in a couple of these rooms where I'm like, oh my. So no thanks. So, but yeah, no, I think it at least scratches the surface of some of that, if you will, right?
Oh yeah.
There was a Star Wars con that I went to where one of the actors from Empire, I'm not going to tell you which one, was absolutely positively toasted, and they could not find him. And they're like, where is this guy? Where is this guy? Well, he's out on the patio near the bar, and he's just right, and they're trying to get him up, and he's like, oh no, gentlemen, this is the drinking hour. And they're like, no, you got to go do this, you got to sign, and you got, oh really, where are we going? And they're trying to get him they're trying to get him up on stage so they can get the pictures and the signatures, and he's just 3 sheets to the wind, absolutely wasted.
Yeah, I saw one at a Star Wars celebration. They were trying to move him for a photo because they had all these Slave Leia costume girls, like 30 of them or whatever, and they said we're going to put him right in the middle, completely liquored up. So he's hitting on these girls. Hey, girl, you girl's going to come back to my. I'm like, oh dear Lord, this girl is probably underage, man. It was crazy.
Bail out.
I was like, wow, we are in a different, and it was just in the phase of just so inappropriate back then. And this is long before now. I can't. So assassins in the house, dropping the quote.
By Grandpa's hammer.
Let's see. Yeah, they're talking all sorts of nonsense in chat. So, I really did enjoy all that. I enjoyed the fact that it felt very believable, And there's little tips that they did too, which was very good too. Like they have Sigourney calling the other actor like about Tim Allen's character, like, "Did you see him? What's going on?" It was weird. And it was like, oh, she really is into him. Like she's playing it differently. She really is, because no girl's just doing that. They're not actually into him. Things like that. I thought that was very, very good. And then to have sort of like that clear knock at, George Takei. They're not clearly knocking. I mean, they're doing these little subtle things that I thought were very, very good. I don't totally get the nod. Explain to me the Fred thing. Like he just seems like he's disconnected from the world. Fred seems like he's slow and kind of out of it, and don't quite totally get the Fred character, what he's supposed to be. Who is he supposed to represent, really?
I wouldn't think he'd represent Scotty, because Scotty wouldn't like that. Scotty was loud.
Yeah, Scotty
was military. So Scotty, James Doohan was former military. He lost a finger in the war, and he was loud. It was not. He did not represent Scotty. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know who he's supposed to
He was like
represent.
the exact opposite. Because
Yeah.
he was just like, I think there's a major problem down. Like he was just very mellow, like
Nothing
monotone.
At one point he yawns, right? There's a scene where he's like,
Yeah.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like, what's happening? I'm laughing at the absurdity of it. But I just didn't know if you knew, Loki, like who's he supposed to. It's like, I mean, obviously,
Maybe
I know
they
he was
turned
the
Scotty
SVP.
on his head. Maybe they flipped. They just
just go the other
decided, you know
direction
what?
with it?
We'll just make him. Hey, they're saying this is really bad.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
We don't know what to do.
Yeah,
You know?
give her all she's got. I don't know if this is gonna work or not. I don't know what's going on down here. James Doohan was, the thing about him is he was like always, I think from what I've heard a couple interviews, distraught that he didn't get credit for like the hundreds of like radio things he'd done, all this other stuff he'd done. It's like, all you guys want to do is talk about Scotty. But I did all this other stuff too, by the way. I did have a finger blown off, and it's like I was like, yeah, he is kind of a boss.
That's one of the best Scotty stories I ever heard. James Doohan stories was the woman that was gonna self-delete, who came to a convention. He convinced her. He was like, "Come to a convention," and she followed him around for like 2 years. So for 2 years, she went with James Doohan everywhere, and then poof, disappeared, and he didn't know. She just stopped following him around, and then about a year after that, poof, there she is. And she's like, I met a guy and I got married and I'm happy and it's all because of you. And he was like, that was the greatest thing I ever did in my life, was encourage this young lass to put off doing something bad to herself and to embrace life. And I was like, dude, that's freaking awesome. That's caring. You don't get that from anybody today. You wouldn't get that from any actor or actress. They wouldn't give a shit about you.
Well,
That's
good luck
old
getting
school.
past whatever assistants and handlers most of them have now.
Yeah.
It's so, yeah. Claude is here. Hey to you, brother. Yeah, famous people compensating for their inflated egos say it isn't so. Yeah, it's rough out there, man. All right, leave it to Nos to make a Diddy reference. Got to meet Chris Gore last year, the girl I was hanging with, the Dallas Fan Expo. Got to hang with him. Just wanted to get drunk. Pretty sure he didn't want to be there. Oh, I think Chris treats most of these outings as an opportunity to just party and hang out, and he really enjoys hanging out amongst his own type people and not necessarily with the fans and stuff. That's my impression from his stories and stuff. So, Fred stoned and chill. Okay. Talk about making a sequel. Alan Rickman died, pretty much killed it. I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad they didn't try to do it. I really am. I love
They
it.
should have done it while he was alive. They should
Yeah,
have
I mean,
done
if they could
something.
have worked it out, it would have been fun to see. But what else are you going to do, man? You did such a great mockery of it all. It's like, you know what I mean? It's like, how do you level it up? Because it's just, I mean, obviously you could have them come back or they're in some sort of peril with another adventure or whatever. But
Well, you've got the show. See, that's the thing. You've got the show. And that's one of the things that everyone always forgets. They immediately go into the convention talk, and they don't talk about the fact that this movie starts out like the original, TV format, seeing the episodes, and then it kind of expands out to this widescreen film. You've got the show, and you've got the show after that. The journey continues,
Yeah.
And so you've got another show. Maybe do it about the other show, something.
yeah,
But
Slasher Fred brought that
could've
up
been
too,
fun.
about how they even changed the aspect ratio and stuff
Yes.
like that. Yeah.
The details. And I thought it was a genius idea for the whole premise of this, the like the historical document thing. I thought that was absolutely genius the way they went about that.
We have seen your historical documents.
Yeah.
I was really laughing because I remember the first time I was watching it, like it was like I just kept sitting there going like, wait a minute, did they recreate everything? Like it took like they keep leveling you up, right? They're kind of like, oh, we kind of built this thing on you guys, and you feel like it's almost kind of like they did that with that Adam Sandler Pixels thing, like we found your tape in space and blah blah blah. That's how we communicate with you. And I'm like, but Galaxy Quest, it was like, and again, this is '99, so it's been like 25 years ago I saw this in the theater. And it was like, oh, a level. So at the end of the movie, where they're like literally talking to Justin Long's character about going through all of the I'm like, holy crap, did these guys like download the Making of the Universe books and stuff like that? Evidently they did. It was hysterical. I want to be sucked into a Star Wars version of that, Matt. Don't you think? That'd be a blast, man.
That would be, yeah.
We'd die in 2 seconds. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah, we'd be
not
gone.
Familiar with like the blaster lightsaber universe. You know, you're just going to get killed immediately. Just how it is. Oh boy! All right. So when the story starts, obviously, I love that. Okay, so I mean, I guess besides Klingons, what else are we mocking with the creatures? What else are we kind of getting into? Are there other things?
We had the Klingons at the toilet at the convention. You know, they're all standing there and they're all peeing. Oh yeah, that's Klingons at a convention.
Yeah.
You had green aliens. You had alien, you know, with tentacles. You had butt face aliens. You had
the rock monster.
The rock monster.
Yeah, I like the rock monster.
And then the little gremlin things on that same planet.
Grignak.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so funny too because it was just how you see the progression of how that played out, and then of course Sigourney's weave. Don't look back, and she looks back, and then when they first see the Tim Allen's character, it's like hit him with a rock. It's like stuff like, oh, it's so great. Not a moment that doesn't just make you smile. I don't know that I was laughing out loud per se, but I know that I was amused and happy the whole time. You know what I mean? I don't have to belly laugh the whole time. I can just have a good time. So yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff. I didn't really pull anything up. The Ironcaster usually drives that part of the show, so I didn't have it pulled up to anything in particular. So
here is if you don't have to play it, but you could use it. It's the practical effects, which I absolutely loved in this movie. There was a ton of them. It's from the Stan Winston School. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. I'm sure Pops. Yeah. Okay. So I figured you probably would be. But they did a YouTube video about 2 years ago on the behind the scenes stuff for this, and they kind of go into the details of all the stuff that they made, and it's insane how, like, obviously the CGI is 90s, right? So it was a little, it was good for its time. It's held up, I think, decently well for what it is now. But I didn't know as much practical effects was in this movie after watching this little 3-minute video. But they did say, like, there's some little tidbits here that the who's the main bad guy, the grasshopper-looking dude? I don't know his name. The reptilian guy. They said that was used from him. So this was used from a unused Planet of the Apes movie. Was his
okay?
I didn't know that.
That's very common practice too. That's where a lot of the Cantina creatures come into play. Rick Baker's studio, when Lucas was like, we don't have enough aliens. I went to Rick Baker's studio and they started grabbing crap off the wall.
Stuff that they unused.
Like one looks like a demon, one looks like a werewolf, because they're just Rick Baker masks. They were just literally like they just like grab crap off the wall because they did quote get George more aliens.
That was the same thing with like Ernest Scared Stupid, right? They used Attack of the Killer Clowns. I'm pretty sure those are the same.
Yeah.
Those are the same. So, but I just thought like this little video, if you like said, you could use some snippets from it. The little pigman creature, the little, it was like I don't know, it looked like something out of Ghostbusters you would see like, but there's actually a dude walking around, and that thing. There's like a guy in there walking around. It's pretty wild. It goes over the sketches of those gremlins.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
There's that little gremlin guy. That thing was pretty wild too.
Wow,
that's what that's Thermion. You know, my comic book shop has a giant one of those for sale. She wants $5,000 for it, but it's a giant.
Like a life-size Thermion?
It's a life-size Thermion.
It should be in this video where he's airbrushing on it, like a minute
It's
in.
supposed to be one of the ones used in the movie. So
That's wild. Yeah, you can see where they're making it, the molds and stuff. I love this stuff, like the practical effects, man. And that's what really shows you that they deeply cared about these movies and they loved them and they really put, like, look at that. That's just, you know how many hours you probably have to put into that, the detail? It's crazy.
And the irony is, if they would just keep doing this, they can also do a CGI part of this when there's a scene where you need some CGI help, right? There's going to be maybe a limitation on what you can do. It's like, but if you do this part, then the other part works so much better because you have all the lighting right, the textures there. You get just there's so many details that they lose by just doing digital only.
Absolutely. That's what we've always said is that the blending, practical and CGI effects are the way to do it, not this whole, oh, well, we'll just do it all CGI.
Yep. Yeah, it is pretty cool. You don't have room for a full-size one of these things, dude.
Like, look at that thing, yeah.
That's wicked cool. I love the fact that there's like a remote to make his little wing things flip out when he's angry.
Yeah, see, that's where it says it's a unmade Planet of the Apes reboot was the mechanics that they used.
That must have been from Tim Burton.
Tim Burton stuff, because it was, it just died.
Holy crap.
Oh, yeah, there you go. You can tell. Yeah. I see it now. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so they refabbed stuff they had already worked on. Yeah, that was so common back then. We don't get stories like this anymore. Like, we don't get stories of, oh, yeah, we this movie that we started and didn't do anything with, and now we're going to do, the $30 million on the He-Man project got flushed down the toilet. So we ended up taking this, Beast Man costume and using it for this. Like, no, stories don't exist anymore, man. We don't do it.
Well, they don't. Well, I was going to say, because basically what Loki said earlier, which you pointed out, so I didn't even realize it really, is that shows you the fan love in this movie, right? Well, that's essentially part of it. Like, they don't care. They don't care about the fans. Like, they hate us. So it's like that a lot of these stories in these videos are for us, the people that love these movies, and then we watch it and we kind of fall in love with it even more, knowing these little details about it, and they don't care. So.
And if you don't have a shop full of guys making stuff like that, you can't just go in and raid one and take all the stuff, because if it's all CG, look at the last Planet of the Apes. There isn't anything in there that wasn't like, there is no practical effect stuff. It's all people running around in green suits with little motion mocap stuff on them. There is none of that. Oh, well, we're going to take some Planet of the Apes shit using this other movie that we didn't use. Because it doesn't exist.
Yeah, they didn't do anything. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a very, very valid point. Yeah. Rickman is great as Hans. Yeah, we would all agree with that, my friend. Yeah, there you go, man. Soul Assassin all starts coming back to you, man. Now you got a good reason to go watch it. That's part of what we do here. We try to stir up some positive talk and send you in the right direction. And yeah. Speaking of gremlins, were we talking about gremlins? Were they talking about gremlins? Anyway, some people say that the Tribble species in the original Star Trek inspired. Oh, well, maybe.
Well, they do start out as little balls when they pop off Gizmo.
Off the back?
Little furry balls.
I have to find someone to have that. Oh, wait. The man is here. We can start the show now. Thank you guys for the pre-show. Ironcaster, my friend, what is going on?
Yes, I sort of passed out.
Well, we were talking about the celebrity nonsense before, and we knew that we were giving you a lot of love for the last couple of weeks. We didn't know we've gotten to this point. Now, when Loki and I may have to have an intervention to make sure. Never mind. Let's just take him right out of the show and put him in the rear.
You pulled a boogie. You pulled a boogie, brother. What do I mean by that? I mean the convention I just went to last Saturday. He overslept, and they couldn't find him. So, where's Boogie? I don't know, he must be still asleep at the hotel. Well, go get him. By the time I'm leaving, he's like shuffling in, drunk. And
wow.
Yeah.
Zach's
No alcohol
here.
this time.
Hail to you, my friend. Undid Ramen. At least y'all still here. Yeah. Awesome one is here. Yep. Ironcaster rolls in here, brother. Ironcaster, my friend. What is going on?
It has been a really good weekend. I was like got to stay at home, went out and played some D&D. I relaxed, able to go into this weekend nice and chill. Apparently, I needed a little more sleep than I thought, but
Hey, you watched this for the first time. We can't wait to hear what you think about it. So,
I did.
does it first up? Our first impression comment on: were you surprised by the parody elements of Trek? Did you know that's what this was about, or did you know how deep that was going to go?
I mean, I sort of knew. I already kind of knew that this was sort of a Star Trek parody. I knew it enough that people would kind of, by and large, go ahead and consider this like one of the good Star Trek movies to sort of keep up. I guess there's this idea that people want to keep this up as sort of in as one to keep it, so keep it in, so that you could then count some of the JJ09 movie somehow was a good one. It's weird, but
Wow. All right.
but
no,
no,
this gets a lot of
this is
fan. A lot of people have this on their, and Louise Sparrow started the show that way. She said this is one of her favorite Star Trek films. So yeah, I get it. Well, we were taking a divergence because we were enjoying a video that Matt had found about the practical effects. And Matt, I found the segment that you were talking about earlier. Dude is inside the suit, Ironcaster. Check that out.
That's how they did that.
That is
okay.
wicked cool, man.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
That is a gnarly job. And you know what the sad thing is, guys? We don't know that dude's name.
No.
You know what I mean? We don't know that guy's name. It says Supervisor Shane Mahan performed inside the suit. So there you go. Shane Mahan. Dude, you deserve so much more credit for this type of work. Like, oh my God.
If you go just a couple seconds later, you'll see there's actual a little bit of video of him walking around. It's not the full, it's just like the head portion. And I want you to see.
Wow, that is wicked, though.
Isn't that wild?
There you go, Ironcaster. There's your next cosplay idea, my friend.
Because I was at the house watching the movie, and I'm looking at that thinking, okay, what do they do? I'm like, it's true they must have just hired a dwarf to do this role. They had a little guy, they had him on, and he just kind of walk around with it on like a pair of suspenders. It's like, no, just a regular sized guy, just kind of hunched over and hopping around.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
I love it.
You know what a blast, dude. Look, this dude's got that Planet of the Apes shirt on. Look.
No, is that Congo?
That's Congo.
Yeah, I think it's
That's Congo.
Man.
Amy.
Congo.
Haven't seen that for oh my good Lord.
Oh, that's good stuff. Oh, here he is doing it. Oh, they're doing his plaster.
Mm-hmm.
Doing his life cast. Yeah, just kudos for wearing this freaking thing all the time. Just that's crazy. Oh, the little babies. The blue demons. Man, those things have sort of like ended up everywhere in like horror and sci-fi since this movie. Like there's some sort of deviation of like little creatures that have teeth that come out, or just this concept has just, it's so widespread now. But when this movie came out, this was kind of like, whoa, that caught me off guard. Yeah.
I remember Del Toro took that same concept into Hellboy 2 and with the Tooth Fairies.
Yep. All right, DJ Ronnie G throwing down Bob Ross Meloncaster. We don't get a lot of Meloncaster. That's pretty cool to see that hop in there. That's great to see. Good to see that. The new one, guys. If you guys want to hit it in chat, the new one is out. I dropped it. Pops Angels. That's right. I dropped the Pops Angels emoji because yes, this summer, Pops Angels are coming. Our new show will debut this summer. Pops Angels. Soul Assassin, yeah, unsung hero in that costume. Must have been hell on the back. Yeah, I know, man. That's crazy. That's crazy. Fascinating. Yes. Pops Angels. There you go. Rocking. This is a great find. I enjoy this video. A lot of practical effect. Oh, models. We're doing models. Let's click over to models.
Man, it's such a skill Such a skill set. I wish I could do that, but
And they scan it in.
mhm.
Like I said before, this is what they don't do anymore. They just do everything in the computer directly. Look how good that looks, man. That's
Yeah, it's
so
towards
good.
the end of the film when he's hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feel like this movie had a lot of love attached to it. You know what I mean? You could just tell. A lot of appreciation and love from the people that made it, I think. So,
Yeah. And lots of Bob's Angels. Thank you guys. Appreciate that. Yeah, no, I think it felt again. I don't think you could do a movie like this if you didn't have a lot of like fan love, right? Because the movie is so deep in the spirit of Trek and science fiction, right? So I know there's a story, and I'm 99% sure it's Mark Hamill, right? Someone came up to him with like X-wing questions, exact same kind of thing, right? They've told those kind of stories, right? Oh, with the schematic of the X-wing and blah 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 blah. Blah. He's like, I don't freaking know, right? You know what I mean? It's that kind of stuff. So,
I'm sure the original Trek crew had got questions like that all the time.
well, I think it's pretty famous that they've all kind of been there, done that, and for sure that's been a thing, and it still is. I mean, you can get with Trek people. I mean, I had one that I had at our church who was a young kid, and he was already down all the schematic books and making up books and things like that. He was in everything. He was in Trek and Star Wars, which is all of it. He had all the schematics on the Falcon. He had the schematics, all this stuff, man. It's like, okay, cool. I was not that. I mean, I had some of the books, but I don't necessarily I wasn't like memorizing dimensions of.
yeah,
I just don't. Okay.
it's cool to like see it and check it out, but not memorize everything. And yeah,
Well, when I was a kid, we did because that's all we had. So whatever was on those trading cards. So the original trading cards. Like if you had asked me back then, I don't know what has stuck. I haven't done trivia on that level yet. But if we were kids, I mean, literally 77 through like 84, 85, it was like you were immersed. That's all you had. There was not, there wasn't, as much stuff to easily be distracted by now. So, oh yeah, all right. So we could probably get into Orville a little bit at some point, but yeah, it's amazing how the movie came out in 20th anniversary of Alien. Oh, cool. Did not know that. Interesting. Yeah, it's been like 25 years, man. It's crazy. So,
it did sort of have me thinking about all the other kind of all those other sci-fi series that have sort of come and gone that, in their own ways, deserved as much love, and yet they don't get a fraction of that. Like, how many people are out here talking about the Lex? How many people are still kind of holding on to that little flicker of flame, a little candle of flame for love of Babylon 5 and
Farscape.
Yep. Andromeda.
If you were a big Stargate fan, that was one of the coolest things in the 200th episode, was seeing them kind of dunk on Farscape. Everybody, the cast of Stargate in Farscape. And it's one of those, like, nobody knows what that is. And yeah, those shows are great.
Yeah, I'm going to keep dabbling. I like I said, I committed to Trek TOS this year, and I just finished another TV series. My son's trying to sell me on one, so I'm trying to debate: do I want to appease my son or do I want to appease you members out there? So I'm not quite sure what to do. So Zach's is here; he'll help me decide. I'm so glad I was dragged to the movie theater. Yeah, man, this was. I don't remember. I think this was just I go see everything at this point in my life in '99, so it was like I saw everything. I remember seeing this. And I don't think we saw it open. I think we saw it like on the Saturday or something. Like I already heard positive things, and then I saw it 2 or 3 times because it just had a laugh. And again, I could see Star Wars fandom in it. I could see other, like we were talking about, other sci-fi shows. So I've been at conventions, since I was, teenager. So yeah, that definitely is like that. I will say too, I kind of had a little bit of laugh at the end of the movie when they crashed the ship into everything. They're like throwing cars through the parking lot, whatever. I'm thinking to myself, well, that's a disaster for everybody involved. I mean, so I thought that was fun. I didn't really remember that element as much. I remember it crashing there, but I didn't remember it destroying, just
crashing into the actual convention through the wall. Yeah, I didn't remember that.
Cars, all sorts. Because the next newscast will be like, yeah, they arrived. The death toll is now up to 11. 3 $3 million of damage in the parking lot alone, or I don't know. It's just crazy. It was a lot of fun though, for sure.
But who cares about all that? Because we got a new season of Galaxy Quest.
Yeah.
That's right. Galaxy Quest is back. Loki is happy. I went to see it at my local Star Trek group. Cool. Oh my, we were crying with laughter. Yeah, you know what, Louise? I could see that would just be a blast to see it with your own, kindred spirits, right? Because that's the hardest thing, guys. If we ever can organize like the Talk Hard gathering where the three of us can be together,
You better.
do we really want to like do shows? We just want to go watch movies and crap together. So we can actually. No offense to all you, we love you and we want to meet you. We'd figure that out. But we'd really rather just be like, how do we binge like 6 movies together? How do we? Because it's like this experience. We want to be in the room together, and it's like that would be the dream. To be honest,
So
yeah,
I'm already kind of pictured that, and now I'm just thinking about how like that's all gonna go out. Pop's gonna go up, and he's gonna have the little slip of paper that has all the movies written down. And then when he's got his back turned, he's like got distracted with someone. I sneak up. I start kind of cross one of the movies off. I try to sneak in like a little shark movie or something.
Oh, it'd be. Trust me. I don't know if Loki saw it in chat this morning. Loki just started talking about all these terrible movies, and I'm like, you need to stop doing this, man, because Ironcaster's listening. Just please change the subject. Stop. Loki's like, I would watch this again. I wouldn't watch this, but I would watch this. I'm like, oh hell no, we're not doing that. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That is one of the coolest things about the get-togethers. So when we did Valhalla-Con 2 years ago, DJ Ronnie G was there, Dave Bob was there, me and Mike and Eris and all these people, classic comics, all these people were there, Dare the Derelict, and we watched Wrath of Khan. And I tell you what, all of us like doing different lines in the movie, and we hadn't planned that. We didn't plan on doing that. It's not like we had our own each little bit of dialogue, but we're all quoting lines from the movie while the movie. That was the best part of the whole meetup, was getting to watch Wrath of Khan. And that went sideways because we were supposed to have a screening room and they screwed that up. And we ended up hanging out in like a lounge, and they gave us free drinks, free beer, free Coke, free pizza, free. They just put the bill on everything, because they screwed up the screening room. And that was the funnest part of the whole thing, was hanging out watching Wrath of Khan.
Yeah, that's cool. Soul Assassin, was there talk of a Galaxy Quest TV show? I mean, I assume they'd want to try to spin it into something. But again, like we talked about briefly, the untimeliness of Alan Rickman's passing contributed to that a little bit. Plus his Harry Potter contract would have been a hindrance as well. So. Seeing Last Jedi once, then seeing it again in IMAX with a friend. Oh, yeah.
Ouch.
This movie is one of the few for me where if it's on, I'm watching it. Yeah, cool. That's cool. Yeah, it's one of those where it's just so much fun. I forget how clean it is, right? Because it's kind of like that old Trek parody, right? So it's kind of like PG-ish. Like it hasn't really leveled up. They don't really have like major curse words or anything like that. I mean, the Sigourney Weaver boobs never go all the way, so. It could be on with the kids and stuff in the house.
I don't know if any of you all remember this. There was a time where you couldn't get this movie. It was not in print. So if you found one, you had to get it off of eBay or something. And you couldn't watch it on Amazon. You couldn't buy it. It not available in your area, not available on Vudu, not available on any of the cable, immediate watches. It was just, if you didn't have it, you couldn't get it, or you had to eBay it. It was a pain in the ass. I remember one year because I was like, man, I want to watch Galaxy Quest, but I don't have it. And trying to dig into that, I had to order it off of eBay, and I ended up spending like $30 for a DVD. That's insane. But I couldn't get it on any of the video on demand stuff. It just wasn't there.
Who owned it to had on lockdown?
I don't remember, but I know that it was like not available in your area to buy. On Amazon, on Vudu, on all of it, it wasn't available in our area to buy.
I was going to say that's got to be partially the reason why it took me so long to see it again, because it wasn't something that just popped up or that I would come across and find on streaming or anything. And not that I forgot about it, but I just really didn't think of the film. And then when I saw this coming up, I was like, I remember this. I love this movie back in the day. And then I looked it up, and I don't know what it's on now. I forgot what I just streamed it on. It's on something now, maybe Paramount.
Paramount. Yeah, if you don't
Okay.
know that it's on Paramount. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be where I.
This was a movie that was just always on cable, so I would always just be kind of going through the room, and I'm like, I'm going off to the bathroom, and it's a movie where I've seen bits and pieces of, like the thing with the countdown button. Like I knew how that went because that was one of the scenes I've just kind of seen just completely out of context, where they're running up and they go to push the button on the countdown thing, and it's still going. They're like,
Yeah. I felt like back in the day, like you said, it was always on cable. And I remember when I was a kid, I'd watch it all. Every time it come on, I'd turn it on because it was great. It's just and like you said, Pops, I feel like it. I think even though at the Sigourney Weaver or whatever still looked really good, but it's still like a family movie. It wasn't like something
PG.
that was it was absolutely a family movie. It wasn't anything over the top or crazy. And I don't know. It's just you watch this movie and you can't not have fun. I feel like I just always enjoyed it. So it's just one of those things. It was on. I watched it.
Yeah. Leia Rose is here. Hey, Princess. How you doing? Cleely Chow. What is going on, brother? How you been?
Roll Tide, brother.
There it is right there.
so apparently there was some talk for a while of doing a sequel film. It's just that Alan Rickman's death sort of killed all the momentum for that.
There was some talk of Paramount doing something with TV show or something.
Oh, I wish.
I don't.
Not
want them
anymore.
screwed up.
I don't want
Don't
that
screw it
right
up.
I was gonna say that was remember a time when we all looked forward to. Oh man, I wish they really kept going. Now I'm like, please, for the love of God, don't touch anything. Leave it all alone. Scrap it. Don't look at it.
Yep.
Pretend it even exists because it's perfect the way it is now. If they do it, like we said, it would be completely ruined, and then you'd have these weird fans come in and would try to wreck it. I don't know. So
Yeah, at
look
this
what they-
point.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, look what they did to Halo. Halo fans have been asking for like a movie, something forever. We want something, and then we get we got that. And yeah,
not to derail, but those live action commercials back in the day were some of the coolest things that I ever saw for a video game. I was like, oh, how awesome would it be to do a movie or a show? And then you get just like, well, I'm just never gonna watch TV anymore.
I can't think, because sometimes I can come up with a premise that Loki in our fictional studio that I would be okay with doing. If we have to make a movie, we could do this. With Galaxy Quest, I feel like it's kind of off limits. I can't think of something that I would enjoy doing, and you can't do the original cast at this point. So I'm thinking like maybe we would do a movie where the TV show is being rebooted with all these new actors, and the fans hate it, and the aliens have come back because now the historical documents don't match, and it's created turmoil in their universe or something like that. So that there's maybe something, but most things
you contradicted yourself here and here.
We're out of alignment. So something that would be maybe, but even then, without Rickman, who you gonna get or not get back? I don't know.
You'd have to get Benedict Cumberbatch or another classical British actor just to kind of go for that same sort of thing. But if you do that though, then you start kind of repeating yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You need to kind of play off of tropes of other popular sci-fi shows and playing it up that way. So
you could do something where the race or another alien race is using historical documents from some other show, and it's putting them in contradiction with one another. So like you said, Andromeda or something. So there's some other alien race that's like obsessed with Andromeda, and their historical documents are so again. In theory,
they're obsessed with Gilligan's Island.
Well, Gilligan's Island should be, gotta get real people with some residuals. Those poor families
on that island.
Did she drop a bomb at the end?
People.
I didn't know she dropped a bomb at the end. I don't know. Okay.
I
don't know. You have it on DVD. All right. Yeah, I own it now. But yeah.
Yeah. I've got it on Blu-ray now, but back then it was like out of print, not on video on demand. So how you gonna watch it?
That's another thing we need to do because we don't really have. We probably should do it at this point. There should be a Pop's website needs to do something, but we have a little talk hard thing of because things like Johnny Dangerously you can't get. You know what I mean? By the way, I found my copy. Yeah, long story, but yeah, I do have it. I knew I had it. I was like, yeah, but yeah, there's a few movies that are sort of like on that list of. Which, by the way, from what I read, can you guys confirm that the 0-1 that's in Japan does not have subtitles? It just is not English. There's no English subtitles on it. That's what I read. You guys know? Ginger Ninja was talking about maybe possibly hooking me up, so I was trying to make sure. I want to go buying it from Japan to get it, and find out it doesn't even have any subtitles on it. It's not gonna do me any good.
You think it has if it's a Blu-ray, it's got or a 4K, it's got to be optional.
I would think so, but somebody online, one of these, it was a foreign paper, so I don't know. Anyway, Tropic Thunder, very similar to Galaxy Quest because you have these actors portraying soldiers, later find themselves playing the characters out for real. Yeah, it was a similar trope. You're right. It's a very similar trope. And I will say this for Tropic Thunder, they knew how to level up to insane levels, which is what you have to do for comedy.
Great movie too.
Oh, I see what you're saying, Corey. She dropped an F-bomb. Okay. Yeah, I don't know. Good. It was good. It was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed seeing young Justin Long, Rainn Wilson, stuff like that. It's a lot of fun, man. Like, wow. And they get me pretty good because you forget. And Matt, you haven't seen it. You said 10 years. Ironcaster, you've never seen it. I don't think I've seen it. It's been before 10 years, but it was definitely long enough to have forgot like the trash. He had to run the trash out at the end, and that's why the timer's going. He's not answering. I forgot that gag. That actually made me laugh. Again, this was the thing. Like so many things just made me happy. It's not get belly laughing. I think that the guy when they're talking, do your Thermi and Loki, like I made Pops laugh. Yeah. that does make.
We made Pops laugh.
It would be that kind of laugh is what they would do to make it worse. Yeah.
The movements, like the when he's trying to pull the ship out and he's scraping it on the side, right? Like just those little things make you laugh and smile. And it's I don't know. It was a good revisit.
I tripped and laughed at that because my son moved the van yesterday and hit the side of the fence.
Oh.
It was so funny. I don't know. We didn't care. The van is a truck. It's at this point. It's been paid off for years. It's been on the farm. We don't have a truck. And we sold the truck, and we have this van. And it was like, I kind of knew it was going to happen, but I didn't. I thought he saw, and I thought it was the mirror. Then I panicked because it wasn't. It wasn't the mirror. So I'm okay. I'm like, outside of this, it's just a little tiny thing. But it's like, oh yeah, I just saw Galaxy Quest, and that's what the guy did in Galaxy Quest. Made me laugh. So okay, go ahead, Ironcaster.
Oh, just that it's one of those little bits of detail that always kind of pop up that you think about, like, every time you see the Enterprise leaving port, you see it leaving one of these places, you're always like, they're great pilots. What if someone messed up once?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this whole movie is a giant reminder. Look at how young, I can't remember his name, the pilot. Kid that is the pilot. He's like a kid in the series, right?
Yes.
He's an adult. He's an adult now. They have the fans, not the actors, the fans have kept all of this alive and are still making these actors and actresses money after all this time. That's not going to happen with a lot of stuff we got now. That's not going to happen with the Star Trek Discovery and all that. Because people just don't care. They don't care, and out of sight, out of mind. This stuff doesn't happen anymore because they despise the people that love it. They despise the people that keep it alive. They despise the people that want them to do good work and keep doing it instead of falling back on BS and morality and horse crap. We don't want a 2024 Star Trek. We want a Star Trek that is 400 years in the future, that none of this crap that's going on now matters. We've all moved past it. We're better people. We're in that future. We don't need all that morality questions and bullshit that we've got now.
I think, Matt, you were talking about it earlier too, because they don't lean into fandom. They don't lean into the love that they even have. I mean, I'm hard pressed to believe like 10 or 15 years from now, you think this generation is going to care even about like the Stranger Things kids? I feel like I feel like even the big things that are successful, they're not going to lean. What? I mean, maybe Zolo from Cobra Kai is a draw because he's a handsome dude, and I'm sure that maybe, but okay, but maybe there's a handful of things, but not for the most part. This group of kids, they're more into YouTubers and Instagram influencers, nonsense like that, instead of like pop culture stuff. So.
It's out of sight, out of mind. And
True.
I mean, look at how many years Stranger Things goes on, you know what I mean, between seasons and whatnot. I think I just saw an article on that. It's like, or someone posts something about it, and it's just like, it's funny how it falls off and kind of goes away for a little bit, and the general consensus forgets that it exists, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, new season's coming out, and then they come back, whereas some of this older stuff is going to live forever because it's been, I think just the mass following, the way culture is today. There's other things to forget. Like if you went and watched, say, Back to the Future back in the day, you're going to remember that movie for a long time, whereas there's so much content now, content versus actual, like,
entertainment.
Yes.
Entertainment, yes.
And it's always, you're just getting hit in the face with other stuff. Like you said, there's YouTubers that you can watch weekly, daily, whatever. There's other, just, you're bombarded with it. So you forget about it. And the other point is, it's the lack of respect and love they put into these projects. I think if you had better projects coming out where you see this kind of love and affection put in from the production of it, it will stick with people longer. Whereas now it's just thrown to the wall. It's, if it sticks, it sticks. If it doesn't, oh well, we'll write it off, and then it's a tax write-off for them. They don't care. So
that's why I use Stranger Things as my example, because I feel like it's one of the few that would have some sort of longevity and sort of like pleasant reputation. I mean, it can still be ruined, but I don't feel like it is right now. I feel like it's still a very well thought of IP, and people will come back for it. Harry Potter's like that, right? It's just an IP that's lived on because they've leaned into it at least enough. But I think you're right though about kids. It's like they're just living in this ADD world.
Yeah.
And just like they don't.
They've aged out too.
Yeah. Well,
they have aged out. If they'd have done this every year and given us this every single year, we could have grown up with those kids. Yeah. And I think that generation would care a lot more about it. Instead, they've aged up and become. You got one of them that went off and did, oh, I got a movie, and what? Where are the rest of them at? One that went off and did a Ghostbusters movie, and did it. It's just no one gives a shit.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
If you go to modern conventions, you look around at who the main draws are. It's voice actors. That's what you're seeing at these conventions. Voice actors, actors from 20-plus-year-old sci-fi shows, and wrestlers. That's what are at conventions.
Interesting.
Like the kids want to line up. They want to go see Johnny Young Bosch, who voiced Spike Spiegel, or whoever's voicing Deku on My Hero Academia. That's what the kids want. These are the series that these kids are there for.
That's cool. That makes sense. We recognized ourselves in those fans. We were offended by any comments of fans. Yeah. So true. One of the Bond parody movies I've seen in Casino Royale. It's one Daniel Craig, but it was a movie that came out in '67. Peter Sellers. Yeah. Oh man. Shot in the dark, Casino Royale type stuff. Oh, it's such great stuff. Yes.
Jamie Bond.
What is this nonsense? Get this.
That's Corey being Corey. Well, one thing that you guys brought up, like yesterday, so they have, I don't know if by you, I know in my area they're doing like flashback cinema where they play old movies in the theater for a certain amount of time. Well, yesterday, over the Memorial Day weekend, they had Back to the Future. I haven't seen it on big screen ever, so took the kiddo, right? I went there, and it was a very small screen. There was 40 people in my theater to see this movie. Old, young, everything in between. No, and I mean, everybody, I saw a whole bunch of people, and I was like, wow, I was surprised. I thought there was going to be maybe just a handful of us in there, and I was like, okay, well, there's other Garfield's out, right? And I saw their kids there. They all went into Back to the Future. People were like you were talking about with your convention that you did with Daryl, the derelict, and all that, right? You hear people talking about like saying
Parody.
lines of the movie, right? Like and people were laughing out loud. Like it was an event and it was fun. And that is the best example of that is something that people love, that their parents have loved, that they've passed down to their children, that was made, that is just a standout, one-of-a-kind movies that's going to stand the test of time. Whereas, like today, the stuff that's just content, it's just blah. It's no passion, no love, no nothing, and it's the cream rise to the top. And, that's where we're at. So
We just saw The
You said
Mummy.
it this morning because you said you're talking about $100. Ticket prices, blah blah blah, well over $100. Like, well,
Yeah.
Back to the Future is low risk. Garfield's high, medium to high risk. Furiosa is like, well, you're just
Unknowns.
a fan who just wants to know. I mean, I don't know what to tell you. Like, it's just, yeah, that makes sense.
We went and saw The Mummy, Matt. So we went and saw the anniversary of The Mummy, and it was
Good movie.
I did not expect people, don't read from the book. It's like the whole theater's erupting in quotes. And I was like, I have never seen this. It's not like they had them up on the screen or anything. People just knew the movie, and they were there because they loved that movie, and they could quote that movie, and they wanted to see it in the big screen. We're going to go see The Crow tomorrow, the original Crow, not the remake bullcrap that they're coming out with. We're going to go see that tomorrow night. It's sold out. I don't know if people are going to be quoting that movie or not, but
Are you kidding me? It was
they
gonna be
mean,
want to
there's-
go see that movie.
yeah, they have another one. Ferris Bueller's Day Off is coming back in a couple weeks. We're going to see that one. They're doing Indiana Jones, Temple of Doom's coming back. There's a couple. It's and
Lord
you
of the
can
Rings.
see. Yeah,
Lord of the Rings,
Lord-
the extended version, 4K, first time theaters. We're going to go see all three of those. That's going to be a Sunday or Saturday, Sunday, and Monday event.
You better bring a tent because that's a lot. But that's awesome. That's just awesome experience to do that. And where do you get that type of hype for other movies coming out today? You don't.
You don't?
Luis, I haven't really been paying much attention to these cons and stuff like that. So whatever you think we should pay attention to, you have to let me know. So yeah, Brendan Fraser would surprise at some of the Mummy screen. I heard that too. So I don't know.
That's cool.
Cool. Yeah, he's very self-aware. All right, Ironcaster, we'll close a little bit of this because we're headed to that. We're going to bound that last turn. Ironcaster, this is your first time. What was that like, man? Give us our rundown on the Ironcaster review.
So watching through the film, I'm kind of watching. I'm getting these little vibes, these little flashes. I am seeing the elements of the original series for Star Trek. I'm sort of looking at it as the movie is this kind of fan's perspective of the relationships between these various actors 18, 20 years on from the series. So you're seeing how, actors like George Takei and William Shatner were kind of handling this. How, one just completely hates the other's guts. The other one is so kind of self-absorbed and full of himself that he kind of can't see that I'm actually kind of being a jerk to these guys, that I wasn't fair to them.
Yeah, spot on. How would you rank it? What are you thinking?
Oh, are we talking among Star Trek films, or are we talking?
Listen, it's your call. You're the Ironcaster. What do you mean to do? I've given up on trying to keep him in a box. Loki, you want to try? I don't know how to pin this guy in. It's insane. We're done with that. We're just rolling with what you're throwing our way, my friend.
I think so. Let's see. What did we do last week?
We did True Lies.
Oh, that's right. That one I've kind of come down on. That one I'm at about a set. I've kind of come and thought about it a little more. That one's dropped down to a 7. This one's a lot of fun. I had a blast with it. I'm gonna say probably an 8.
Okay.
4 out of 5.
Yep. Yeah, I'm with you. 7.5 to 8 is where this needs to be. It's very solid. Rewatchability is a good multiplier on it. Doesn't get old. It's just a lot of fun. Like you said at Loki, just that clean, fun, happy, pleasant experience. This would be a fun theatrical experience, like you were saying, Matt. Man, oh man, imagine a theater full of these people quoting lines. Oh,
And all ages too. Young kids will appreciate this. Your older fan base will appreciate this. Like this is just something I think everybody would get a kick out of.
yeah.
You know, I got a little kick at the end where we saw the little trailer for this is Galaxy Quest. The adventure continues, and then we see the alien is in the there as Jane Doe.
Yeah. It's the little things like that, right? It's the little stuff that they put in that really just it takes it up a notch, you know?
Guy's first time on the ship, when Guy gets there and they come here, oh God, what are they doing? And then what's wrong with him?
Yeah, Tim. Yeah, what's wrong with them? Why are they you know?
Yeah. By the way, we didn't touch on it. Guy is really an underrated character in this movie. It's just so fun to have. And Fred basically, well, what if you're just the plucky comic relief? I'm like, oh, it's so great. It's so self-aware.
I'm the guy that dies.
Makeshift suit. He doesn't really have a real suit. It's just, I just love it. It's great.
You know, I was at work today and I was telling someone like, hey, we were kind of all getting back, and I was like, oh yeah, well, we wound up. I was like, I wound up watching Galaxy Quest this weekend, and this one coworker was like, dude, I love Guy in that movie. Like the very first thing he had to say was just how much he loved Guy as a character.
Maybe that's what some people need too. They need to have that gateway character that's like the fish out of the water, right? He's like they're not really into it. So like, you know, it's like Mrs. Pops would probably be the same way. She'd probably be like, I like that guy. It makes me laugh. You know what I mean? It's like she's probably more like that than she would be, you know, down the other. I don't know. It's good stuff. Matt, my friend, let's talk about your channel. What's going on, man? What's coming up?
Oh, just working on, you know, the daily stuff. What's going on? I got a video coming out for like Furiosa, stuff like that. Just other pop culture news and keeping up with things and laughing all the stupidity. Working on some more movie reviews. Like I said, trying to do I can't always focus on the negativity and the bad stuff. So I gotta do like things like this, right? Talking about Galaxy Quest, talking about the good stuff, and remember why we got into this and why we talk about this stuff, fandom kind of stuff. So working on that, especially for members. I normally do my Thursday streams where I kind of do the rundown of the week of the news, what's going on, and then talk about just other funny insanity that I come across on Twitter because it's all funny to laugh at. And then Tuesdays, not every Tuesday, but I am bringing back Take Me Back Tuesdays where, again, a fun stream like this where we can go back to talk about movies like Back to the Future, Galaxy Quest, other things of that nature that just things that we love and why that I wish we can come out with today, you know, things that we miss, why we miss going to the movies and, you know, just enjoy the fandom of all the stuff. So that's really all that I got going on.
I'm with you, man. I'm not doing a Furiosa video. I rewatched Road Warrior today.
Well, I
just watched Road Warrior, and I'm like, man, this movie is so gritty and real, and it's fast. Like it's so slow in some ways and super fast in others. It's such a weird. I don't know. I love it. It's almost like Evil Dead 2. It's like this weird film where it just it's like fast and slow and just I don't know. I love it when movies work, and it does.
With Furiosa, and don't not to derail, and I don't want to drag anything on. With Furiosa, I've been seeing a lot of discourse where a lot of people are just like, "Oh, people are tired of the female protagonist." And I'm like, wrong. That's been proven time and time again. If it's done right and well, we love that. We've seen it many times. It's how they do it, right, and how they go about it, and what's the point. So that's what my video is mainly about. It's actually probably opposite to what I normally do, but I just saw that earlier, like the normal talking heads on Twitter talking, like ripping it apart because it's a female lead. I'm like, I don't really. Yeah, we're all kind of.
I don't know who has seen it, who has really criticized it as being a female-centric film. Is the main criticism. The main criticism I've heard, which I've only heard a couple people, is that it's just way too freaking long. It's just a long, boring, crappy movie again. It's like another knockoff. Like it's exactly the same problem we had all last year. It's like there probably is a good movie in there for 90 minutes.
Yeah.
If it wasn't, you know, in the Mad Max universe, or if it was like a spin-off or, you know, but it was like, it's just 2 hours and 15 or something like that. It's supposed to be. I'm like, I'm not sitting through this anytime soon.
And who really wanted it?
It's okay. It's okay. But like you said, it's too long. Chris Hemsworth, he's like, team me up, coach. Molten Joe was great. Chris Hemsworth was great.
Yep.
And then you've got this stuff in the middle and at the beginning that's just
Yeah,
Yeah.
it'll land for free, and that's when I'll watch it. I'm not even gonna rent the yacht space to do it.
No.
By the way, Jay, that's a good question. We probably should open with that. Does anyone not like Galaxy Quest? 'Cause that's a great litmus test for friendship in a fan circle. By the way, think if you're single out there and you meet a lady and she doesn't like Galaxy Quest and you're an uber nerd, it may not be the lady for you.
Red flag. Yeah. Red flag.
This movie's dumb or whatever. I want to watch Clueless. You'd be like.
Yeah. Well, I gotta go. I gotta get up early tomorrow, so I'll.
We drive you home. All right. Ironcaster, my friend, you always have the busy schedule. What's going on?
Here about an hour, I'll be on with T-shirt historian for our little midweek in geek, where we're gonna, I guess, talk a little bit about Wizards of the Coast because hey, we got some new book covers. Let's see. Friday, I'll be on with 32 Flares and Nick Weiser for our little Friday night comic shop talk, where we're delving into some more amazing Spider-Man. We're into the upper 50s, mid 60s of the original 60s run, so we're rocking and rolling there.
Awesome.
Saturdays, of course, the Week in Geek, where we will no doubt have to talk about Wizards of the Coast because they sure love to stick their foot into it. And with any luck, I'll be able to hopefully get my Monday night show, the Back Pit Chat, to up. But work just kind of in the way. But yeah, the plan is Monday night's my channel to talk about some big robots. Sentai, Tokusatsu, all that cool stuff, including a little film at some point here called Pacific Rim.
Yeah,
Great movie.
Never Surrender documentary is pretty good. Cool. Very cool. Here's Ironcaster's link. Here we go. Got all that coming up. All right. Look, I was listening to somebody else, and they were doing a YouTube talk. They just didn't know that, but that's what they were doing. It was some other show that doesn't normally do this, and I just clicked for the next like thing. I'm just listening to one, and I was like, "Wait, what's happening? This is like a YouTube talk. What? You're stealing our material. You're not allowed to like go get back over in your lane."
It's spreading. They said do not do this under any circumstances. Do not talk about. It's like Fight Club. You know about Fight Club, but you don't talk about Fight Club. Oh, You know about YouTube, but you don't talk about YouTube. I'm going to talk about YouTube. I won't name anybody, but we'll talk about all the weird, stupid, and absolutely messed up stuff that goes on YouTube. So every Wednesday, we'll do that tomorrow morning. We're going to talk about how a lot of personalities on YouTube are simply that, personalities. So we're going to talk about personalities, and not everybody is who they appear to be. We just got this whole thing with the certain guy that likes the nose candy that went to jail for a little bit. Now he's looking at all these charges. A lot of times you don't know these people. It's one of the reasons why you need to stay authentic and be yourself and let people know who you are and where you come from. Because if you're constantly acting like someone else or hiding behind it, when they figure it out, they will abandon you in droves. They just won't care anymore because it's a complete shock to the system. Loki isn't Loki's been who he says he is. It's from day one. I've never shied away from it.
The slave to the fake person that you've created.
Exactly.
They don't like you. They like that person.
They like that person, and that's happened to so many people. That's happened to Boogie. That's happened to Nick. To so many different people. Once you get that shock to your system of, look what this person did. They're done. They're cooked. Take them out of the game, coach, because that's it. Whereas if you're like this guy over here, or this guy down there, or this guy over here. Yeah, you don't have to be fake. You can just go out and give your honest opinion, and you don't have to worry about hiding anything or pretending to be somebody or acting all big and bad. I know a guy for the last 3 years is like, you come at me, I'm acting all big. This guy's a grade A, and doesn't want anybody to know it. This just has hid the fact that they're like, if you came up to them and you're like, I will flick you down the block. Oh, please don't hurt me. But they act all big and bad on a show like they're just the bee's knees and the toughest SOB that ever is, ever was, ever will be. When in reality, they're just,
The truth will always come to light. It's just a matter of time. And
That's
most
right.
if you pay attention, you could probably see it. But yeah.
Angry Canadian, there he is. What a boss stream he had on Saturday. Good.
He did.
Night.
He
Good
did.
night, brother. He probably just woke up from it. There's Loki, rock and rolling links. There you go. Chris Purchase got our back.
Thank you, Chris.
All right, folks. Well, that's it. I hope everybody's doing well. I will take everybody out so you guys can hear this lovely new song we have from Dempsey. He's got a thank you for tuning in. We'll be here next week. We're kicking off Kai June. There we go. Pacific Rim next week, guys. Look at the face. Ironcaster is so thrilled. He's like a child on Christmas. All right, everybody. You guys take care. Talk hard. Be blessed. Till next time. Bye, Pops.